The Silver Star, Mercedes-Benz. Well, the Silver Star is up in the air because Miss Hip Chick and I, you know Miss Hip Chick.
Hey.
She's wearing her furry lion's coat with a big mane. Miss Hip Chick and I went dancing last night. We're not telling you where we went dancing because some of you may say, what? Uh-oh. Anyways, Miss Hip Chick and I went to Vermont to buy another Mercedes, a junker. A 2003, what was it? A 2003 C240, which looks just like a E320, but they must have changed the nomenclature. Uh-oh, chunk is missing. So on the way there to Vermont, we heard, what did we hear? And it was louder upon acceleration, which means and howling, and it would come and go, but it would always come right back, and it sounded like the differential or maybe a carrier bearing. And I'm very familiar with differentials that howl upon acceleration. This was not quite like that, but I shall put on my glasses and illuminate my new flashlight that I just bought with a bright LED that blinds you. Get on my MotoMaster creeper that I just fluid filmed. Crawl underneath this Mercedes, and I took my stethoscope, which I've got hanging from a pail, and I was underneath it for 10 minutes while Mr. Chick cranked that baby up. Look at all the beautiful fluid film. And I listened at the carrier bearing, because it sort of sounded like the carrier bearing was howling, or I don't know. So I'll put the light on and drain my battery. But I thought it was a carrier bearing, but I don't think so. It's a spicer because this Mercedes is made in Alabama. So put her in gear, release the emergency brake, and bring it up to 100 miles an hour. See what it sounds like. I don't know what's making noise here. It kind of sort of sounds like a differential noise. I had oh, there it is. I think now that you spun it faster, I heard it. Do it again. I don't know. All my U-joints are nice and tight. Nothing's got any rust because I fluid filmed this thing to death. Nice and thick and rich fluid film. Tons of it. 3 gallons. Bring up the speed again, Ms. Zip Chick. Keep it up though, don't let go, keep it up. Sounds like a carrier bearing, doesn't it? Oh yeah, there it is, that's the noise. Question is, where's it coming from? The rear bearing and the differential, or the front bearing? There's the noise. I didn't hear it at lower speeds, but now she's cranking her up. And if you have to change that center bearing, you're going to drop the exhaust, the torsion bars, to get this cross member off to release that bearing, or do you take off the drive shaft and you can get it off and drop the exhaust? Where's that noise coming from? The front bearing? Maybe there's no oil in the differential. Good question, huh? Any Mercedes mechanics out there that are familiar with random noises? Random failures, I should say. What's that strap for? Looks like a Corvair strap to stop the axles from dropping, but it's on the cross member. Interesting. Sounds like it's coming right from the middle of the drive shaft. noise. Not a good noise. Nice and quiet here. I wonder if there's an app to put my stethoscope. Oh yeah, noisy here. May think it's the center support bearing, dry. Oh yeah, there it is. Comes and goes. Bring up the speed again, Miss Hip Chick. Yep, center support bearing. Yep. So, stethoscope off. All right, you can let go of the gas, put on the brake gently. Don't want the car to be jarred. Whoa, gently. Put it in park, put on the emergency brake and turn it off. So the only thing I noticed was a tiny bit of rust. You could actually see it right there, a tiny, tiny bit, telltale rust, which could just be surface rust. But I think that center support bearing is bad. So, what are these things here, these spring clips? How does one change the center support bearing on a Mercedes ML? They're only 50 bucks at Rock Auto, but you got the gas tank here, you got the exhaust pipes, you got to take off the whole drive shaft. Got some bolts there, 14 millimeter bolts. And you got to take it off in the front with some Allen bolts. Well, my creepers roll around better. But I think the center support bearing is bad, just like I thought, because it wasn't really noisier on acceleration like a pinion bearing. But how do you get to it? You have to drop the gas tank. It's got this strap with straps around it. What do you do? Well, there's a Mercedes mechanic out there laughing, saying, oh boy. Water pump, idler, tensioner, and now the center support bearing. All these dry, ungreased items, ungreasable items. How do you get that off? I see the two bolt holes to release it, but can you just take off the drive shaft and get it out of this confine? Oh, meantime, I'm going to change the, oh, hold on, Miss Hip Chick.
Hey there.
Yeah.
Yeah, my hair's a mess. People don't pay attention.
No, now that you mention it, everybody's going to look and comment. Uh-oh, I'm stuck to the door trying to get up. Oh, all right. Told you not to buy a Mercedes. You should have bought a Honda and wrecked it. Or how about a Cadillac?
BMW.
BMW.
X5.
Yeah.